What's going on, guys? It's your boy Ethan. Hope you're having a great day. We're with Mariano, who is still in the main event.
Hello.
Still here. We are not. So it's the day after and the grind doesn't stop. That's why we're going to play a bunch of tournaments today. First off, we're at the win. There's an $1,100 daily. So gonna fire off into that. Once we bust, the plan is to go to Venetian next for a $1,600 multi-day. And then once we bust that, there's a $1,100 one-drop bracelet event. Anyways, you got a lot of options of tournaments to play and fire in, so get ready to bust, see how it goes.
But you're gonna win something.
Really? That's what he says. We'll see. We start off this tournament with 25,000 in our starting stack, and here at level 8, blinds have increased to 600, 1200, 1200, and pick up King 8 of spades in the small blind. Action folds to the button, who opens it up to 2,500, and I think I'm just gonna shove. Have a good hand and decent blockers, so I go for it. I jam, big blind and button both fold, and now we chip up to 30,000. So nice start to the tournament. Next, with pocket kings in the cutoff, there's a low jack open to 2,500. Action folds to me, and with about 20 big blinds in stack, I decided on just making the call here in position. That entices the big blind to call, and we're off to a flop three ways. The flop comes 9-9-4 to spades, and action surprisingly checks to me, expecting this low jack player to fire out a bet, but here definitely going to bet for value, and I size to 2,200. Big blind folds, which is nice as he doesn't have a 9, and the low jack makes the call. Not concerned of him having too many 9s considering he just checked the flop, but who knows. We're off to a turn, which is the 8 of clubs. He checks for a second time, and now with 2 flush draws on the board, I'm going to size up a little bit here and bet 8,500. Obviously have a very disguised strong hand, and he decides on a call with about 9,000 behind. The river is a club. Backdoor flush draw gets there, and he checks for a third time. Not much to do considering how little he has behind in the pot, so I jam about 9,000 effective. He calls, and pocket kings are going to be good. Nice to extract max value in this hand by calling pre-flop, and it all just worked out. Chip stack at around 60,000 now. Next hand, we pick up queen jack of clubs under the gun and open it up to 2,500. We get the hijack and cutoff to make the call, but then the button, who has a pretty darn large stack, 3 bets to 12,000. Here, facing this large 3 bet against multiple players, feels pretty strong, but we have a pretty playable hand to see a flop with, so I go ahead and peel, make the call, and that entices the cutoff to call as well. So there is a lot in the middle pre-flop. Let's see a good-looking flop, which comes queen 10-6. Got top pair. Pretty decent spot for us, and action checks to this button player who bets out 15,000. If I make the call, I'll only have about 30,000 behind in my stack, and sometimes can consider just check jamming here for value with top pair and some backdoor straight draws. But I decided in this instance to just make the call, the cutoff folds, and we're going heads up to a turn, hoping to not see an over. When the turn comes a king, yep, that's going to be a pretty gross one. Not great, as it's a card over a pair. We do improve to an open-ended straight draw, though. I check to him, hoping for a check back, and he does, luckily. Going to a river now, which comes a 3. Doesn't change a whole lot, and I'm once again praying this goes check, check. I check. He decides to rip it all in, covering me, and yeah, not thrilled about this one. Bluff catching at this point seems a little gross. I beat just stone cold bluffs. I don't even beat some queen X holdings, and yeah, I'm just gonna fold this one and hopefully see another hand and survive later on in this tournament. The next hand we go, picking up ace 10 of spades in the small blind. There is a low jack open to 2,600. Now, the player on my right button, he jams and rips it all in for about 27,000. Covers me by just a little bit. This is the 3rd time in a row that I've seen this player go all in, so seems like he's got a pretty loose cannon for just ripping a stack in there, and the more I think about it, the more I'm willing to gamble against this opponent, so I just go for it. I make the call. It's about 20 big blinds total. The low jack also makes the call, and he covers the both of us, so this is going to be fun. The button shows us ace jack, pretty bad news. The low jack shows 6-7 of clubs. Okay, 7 high, and we're off to a run out 3 ways, not in great shape, and unfortunately, we lose. But what's probably a little more gross is that 6-7 ends up winning. So I'm out of this tournament, and I'm just gonna go rebuy, I guess, with A few minutes to spare in the rebuy period. Buy back in for another $1,100 donated to the win, and time to run up a short stack. All right, made it to the end of late reg. It only took 2 buy-ins, but it's nice to have Mariano here, just grinding out the Club GG streets. But yeah, we're gonna hop in after this break with 16 big blinds and start to get it all in. Welcome to the tournament life. It only took like 15 minutes to bust, and we're back in it. Off to level 9. Blinds are now 1,000, 1,500, 1,500, and I pick up 7-3 of spades in the big blind. There's an undergun open to 3,500. Cutoff makes the call, and now onto me. I've got 2 napkins, but they are suited. Let's make the call, given a good price. Got to see a flop. The flop comes 10-9-4 to clubs, and we have Brick City here. But action goes check, 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 and we're off to see a turn, which is the 3 of clubs. Oh my god, a pair. With 20,000 in stack, I debate between jamming or checking, and you know what? We're so short. You already know where this is going. Hoping that none of these players have any piece of the board, considering it checked all the way through on the flop. I go for it with bottom pair. I jam. The undergun player quickly folds, and the cutoff player quickly calls. He has king-queen offsuit with the king of clubs, so definitely need to fade some stuff with bottom pair. The river is the 6 of diamonds. Find a fat double up with a disgusting hand. How fun is poker? Showing off the 7-3, it's the winner with bottom pair. Such a silly game this is. All right, chipping up to doubled starting stack now. We pick up ace-jack of clubs in the low jack. I raise it up to 3,000. Action folds to this big blind player who decides to jam his stack. It's 31,000 total, and I snap call up against ace-jack offsuits. So we're a heavy favorite to win. Let's try to pick up another good stack of chips. The flop comes jack high. Wow. That sucks, but we still have the flush draw to go along with it, and the turn and rivers are both Brick City. Damn. Would have been really cool to win this one, and now all of a sudden, after we double up with 7-3, we lose with ace-king, and the stack is now down to 10 big blinds and a dream. In the following hand now, in the big blind, with 10 big blinds to work with, action folds to the small blind, which is really cool, because there's a chance we can have a walk and just survive another orbit. Unfortunately, she calls the 1,500. I look down and peel king 4 offsuit, and it's a king in my hand, so it could be higher than all the other cards she might have, right? I decide to rip it all in. She thinks about it for a little bit and ultimately ends up making the call, so that can't be great, but she shows us king 6 of spades, so we're behind by a little bit, mainly just hoping for a chop, and the flop comes ace-jack 4. Oh my god, what a silly game. The run out is clean. Find a double up with the pesky 4. Tournaments are just so silly. With the very next hand dealt in the small blind now, action folds to me. I pick up king 9 offsuit with about 20 big blinds. I raise it up to 4,000, and the big blind decides on a call, so ready to battle it out blind versus blind. The flop comes ace queen high, so not a whole lot going on for me, but better as the pre-flop aggressor. I put in a bet of 3,500, and for 3,500, he calls. Going to a turn which comes a 9, so not really a whole lot, doesn't change much. We do have a pair, but can't expect that to be good. I continue bluffing, maybe hoping to fold out some queen X holdings. I bet 9,000, and for this bet, he once again calls, so really gonna need some help. The river is a king! Such a luck box right now, it's so silly. Runner, runner, 2 pair. Now after bluffing flop and turn, I'm gonna go all in for value all of a sudden for 17,000. And he calls for 17,000. Oh my god. Show my hand, and I'm good. 2 pair will beat queen 6 offsuit. So all of a sudden, from 10 big blinds, find back-to-back doubles and back-to-back hands and get paid off, and chip stack is now around 69,000, which is great. Progressing to level 10, blinds are 1,000, 2,000, 2,000, and I pick up ace queen of spades in the cutoff. There's a +2 open to 4,000, and onto me. I decide to put in a 3-bet. We're in position with a strong hand to 12,000. Now action on the button player who's next to act, and he decides to jam. 17.5k total. Action folds to me. It's a pretty easy call, so I'm in there. I'm up against pocket 9s, so this is a little bit of a flippy poo. And when the flop comes queen high and holds, starting to heat up now. It's cool when you start running hot in tournaments as your chip stack can increase. Now have over 100,000 in stack. Progressing to the next level here with ace jack offsuit in the cutoff. There's a hijack open to 5,000 with about 60,000 in stack. Now I'm next to act with this hand. I think it plays better as a 3-bet, so I go for it. 3-bet to 15,000 and bad news. Action onto the small blind player who 4-bet jams 25,000 total. Action folds to me, and I really don't love this, but it's only 10,000 more. It's a total of a 10 big blind shove, so can't do anything. This player has ace queen, so pretty unlikely for us to win this hand, and unfortunately the runout comes where ace queen high wins. Stack takes a little bit of a hit now at around 90,000. It's about average chip stack, and now time to grind it back up again. On to the next level, level 12. Blinds are 1,500, 3,000, 3,000, and I look down at ace jack of spades in the cutoff. Still at around 90,000 in our chip stack, I raise it up to 6,000. Action folds to the small blind player who has a pretty big stack and covers the majority of the table here. He 3-bets to 21,000. Big blind folds, and onto me with give or take 30 big blinds here. I have a pretty good hand, and I think this is an easy spot to jam. So for the tournament life, I go for it. I rip it all in, and if this player somehow does have ace king or ace queen, then it's going to be just a cooler, and we're going to have to die. But he thinks about it for a long time, actually. Thinking cap is on, takes off his thinking cap after a few minutes, and ends up folding. And all of a sudden, there are 108 players left. 47 make the money, so just 50 more need to bust, and we'll make it. Got boba in hand. That can only mean one thing, and that's that we're on dinner break. And somehow we're like 50 of the way left to making the money. And I have like 30 big blinds, give or take. And I'm ending this really quickly because the music is so fucking loud. I don't want to get a copyright strike. So I'll check in with you guys when the cards are back in the air. Gonna take the next few minutes to relax, get some food, drink my boba, get back to getting the cards in the air. After the dinner break, nothing significant happens in level 13, but chip stack has increased to over 200,000 after finding some good spots to go all in pre-flop, picked up a few chips, and in this hand, level 14, picking up king jack of spades in the cutoff. There's a low jack who just open jams 51,000. Onto me here, it's only a 10 big blind shove. I have a pretty good hand to call with good equity regardless, so I go for it. I'm in there, everyone else folds, and we're up against ace king. Pretty darn gross, and even worse when the flop comes ace jack high. Not great as the turn brings us a diamond, so now him holding the ace of diamonds sucks. With only 2 outs to win on the river, it's the jack of clubs, Bink City. What an absolute luck box here to hit a 2-outer on the river and chip up in a pretty significant way at this stage of the tournament. We're one step closer to making the money, and gotta feel bad for this opponent. GG's, man. Pretty tough to just run into a luck box here. Sorry. In the following hand, things are going really well. We have 8-7 of spades in the big blind. Action folds to the small blind player, and he open rips. Open rips 73,000, which is about 15 big blinds at this time, and I am deep in the tank. I'm unsure what to do, and ultimately, I think that 8-7, these suited connectors can be pretty darn good. Gonna have at least 40% equity, give or take, to win the pot. And look, I'm running pretty hot. I could probably afford the hit, although this is a terrible mindset. Anyways, that's what's going on. Screw it. I go for it. It would be sick to chip up big time and win with this hand, so I call. I'm up against ace-jack offsuit, so still have 40% to win. The flop comes ace high, but I have a combo draw, so it's a big time sweat. The turn brick, river, a spade, hit the out we needed. And just like that, find another suck out and chip up in a very unorthodox way. Let's go. Our chip stack is now at over 300,000. In level 15 we go. Blinds are 3,000, 6,000, 6,000, and I look down at pocket jacks on the button. There's an under the gun open to 13,000, plus one player makes the call, and action folds to me. Everyone else left to act is a relatively short stack, and considering we're really close to the money, I'm going to go for it. I rip it all in we get everyone to fold until the +1 player calls. Double calls, not sure what he can be holding, but he has pocket queens? Oh, didn't expect that. And the run out comes, we do not improve, cannot win and suck out for a third time in a row. He has 101,000 in stack. Our stack now takes a pretty huge hit down to 197k now. Moving on to level 16. We are getting closer and closer to the money bubble. Blinds are at 4,000, 8,000, 8,000. I've chipped up in this spot to around 250k. Look down ace jack offsuit and +2, and I raise it up to 16,000. Get the hijack player to 3-bet to 40,000. We have similar size stacks, and action folds to me. With about 30 big blinds and 3 players left to the money, I've seen this player be extremely aggro and active near the bubble to chip up. And look, I'm not calling here. There's no chance I'm calling with ace-jack offsuit. So I think it's either a jam or fold. If I jam, it puts huge ICM pressure on this player, and he can fold out a lot of good hands. Like, honestly, ace-queen could be a fold in hands that dominate us. And also, if he calls, the worst case scenario is that we can always suck out like we have, right? So I decide on a jam, obviously praying for a fold since we're so close to the money, and he puts on his thinking cap. And I'm staring at the board, trying my best to not give off any tells. And after a bit, he ends up saying he made a nitty fold and lets his cards go. So now there are 2 players left in the money. We chip up massively to around 300,000 again. And a few moments later, we end up making the money. So that's huge. Finally, a cash again after a long drought in the tournament grind. And big shout out to Mariano, who's still railing me. All right, made it to break in the money, which is cool. 46 of us left.
Yay!
Been playing poker for like how many hours now so far this tournament?
Like 5 hours?
It's been a lot, and you're still railing me. He always loves railing me.
I don't have anything else to do.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
93k up top. It's great.
We're guaranteed at least what so far?
Break even, because I'm in for 2 bullets.
What's the buy-in right now? What do you have locked up?
Locked up like 2,200, something like that, min cash,
Okay,
which is fine.
cool.
46 left, 93k up top. That's
What's
the
your
goal.
stack? Did you tell him that?
Stack is somewhere over there. Yeah, 200k to 280.
It's like average stack.
Yeah,
Or a little more.
it's like whatever. So you know, try to win it up top. That's all that matters. So hopefully.
And I have day 2 tomorrow at the main.
Yes.
By the time this video's out, everyone will
Already know that you final tabled it.
Yeah.
Sweet. Let's get onto the hands, try not to bust, make it to the final table, 93k up top. That's really all that matters. Now at level 17, blinds are 5,000, 10,000, 10,000. I look down at pocket 5s and +1, playing 7-handed at this table, and I raise it up to 20,000. Action folds the small blind player who has a huge stack, over 500k, so double my starting stack right now. He 3-bets to 108,000. Pretty massive, and now onto me. And I'm thinking this is another just jam or fold spot with 26 big blinds. And here, considering we just made the money, the pay jumps don't mean much at this stage of the tournament. I'm happy to just hope that we're flipping and jam. Apply some pressure to against some weaker hands that he might be 3-betting with, or just flip for a big stack. I close my eyes, jam, and of course he snap calls. But luckily, it's against ace king, which is the best situation I could ask for. The run out comes, the flop comes great, the turn safe, and the river hold, let's go. Got over 500,000 in stack now after winning this flip. This is what we needed. This was huge. Still at the same level, picking up king queen of clubs on the button. There is a hijack who jams 92,000. This is only 9 big blinds. Pretty easy call with this hand. I call, blinds fold, and I'm up against pocket 4s. Shit. Clearly, this hand is invincible, and when the run out comes, pocket 4s holds. No brainer here, of course. Why wouldn't pocket 4s win this hand? And now my stack is down to around 420,000. Still plenty of room to navigate with. After this hand, unfortunately, we go into some card death. Level 18, nothing happens. Level 19, nothing happens. Level 20, nothing happens, but there are 21 left in the tournament. My chip stack is now bled down to around 250,000. Definitely need to pick up some hands and get it in. So down to level 20, I'm in the big blind, and there's a hijack open to 50,000. Action folds to me, and I look down at queen jack offsuit. This is not a hand that I can shove with, unfortunately, but I do have to call and see a flop. If I hit a pair or straight draw, just gonna have to go with it and jam. I see a flop of 10-10-7 2 diamonds. Yuck. Not the flop I'm looking for. I check, he bets 30,000, and I've got a fold. Now, all of a sudden, I have 8 big blinds left. On to the next hand, I have 170,000 in stack, and I look down at pocket 8s in the hijack. No brainer, snap, easy, all in. Action onto the small blind. Who calls? We have action, and we're up against pocket aces. Oh no.
The vlogger run good.
8 on the flop, we hold, and all of a sudden, still back in this tournament. There's not a lot of people left, and you need to find some suckouts and some run good at this deep stage of the tournament. Now have 380,000 in front. We have life. Well, I'm lucky I ran into some bullshit, finally. That's cool. Still in it, on break, 16 left. And yeah, final 2 tables, like just barely staying on. There's a lot of big stacks and a lot of small stacks, and we have 19 big blinds. Actually, no, we'll have less, so shit. Yeah, actually we're gonna have less than 20 bigs, less than 19. It's gonna be like whatever. What's up, man?
Hey, I just want to say hello.
Thanks, dude.
Good luck.
You too, man. We have 19 big blinds to end the level, so now like close to 15 or whatever. Definitely not out of the danger zone. Gonna need to find some way somehow to chip up, but you know, there's a will, there's a way. Still alive. Just glad sucked out, and we're still in it. Progressing to level 21, I look down at King 10 offsuit on the button with 350,000 in stack. Here, just gotta go for it. It's a king. I have a Broadway card. I'm all in, and the big blind decides on a call. I'm up against ace-jack offsuit, so gonna need some help. And when the flop comes a 10, gotta fade some shit though on the turn and river. The red outs are clean. This is huge. Find another massive double up in a much needed spot, and there's a chance that we start running really deep in this tournament. Later on, our table is now down to 6-handed. I pick up ace-queen offsuit in the small blind. The low jack player first to act opens to 60,000. Action folds to me. I've got 24 big blinds, and considering how short stacked we are, and considering we're out of position, this is a must jam. I go all in, and he calls quickly. This can't be good. I'm up against ace-king offsuit, so once again, in another bad situation, very much behind. But the flop comes queen high. Let's go. We can't lose these ridiculous, massive pots where we are huge underdogs to win. The turn and river comes runner, diamonds. And he has the ace of diamonds. So, GG's. Could not close out this tournament, sadly. And we are busto out in 12th place. All right. Thank you for watching this monstrosity of a video and vlog. Today was a wild one. Came in expecting to like just bust a bunch of tournaments and play a bunch, and luckily found a deep run finally. You know, there's only so many times you can get it all in bad shape and suck out, and so close to doing it again. And that would have been huge to double up, and yeah, all these double ups are always crucial. Got to win your all-ins, and you know, I can't be that upset when I did get an ace-queen versus ace-king anyways. And, you know, runner diamonds, it's only justice that the better hand wins, finally. That's it. Really happy. Finished 12th, in for 2 bullets of $1,100 and out for $67.74. Tipped a little bit, but that was the total amount for 12th place. You know, I guess I'm pretty happy to finally break the drought of not really cashing anything. You know, I don't know, in the tournament vlogs, these vlogs, you see a lot of bricks. And to be honest, there are more bricks that I haven't shown. It's a few tournaments I just buy in and bust so quickly. So it's nice to get back into it. You know, next time, always gonna go for the win. And let's see, but thanks so much for watching this video. I'm not gonna drag it on anymore. This was a good run. Looking forward to more deep runs. There's a ton of tournaments here in Vegas, and I'm having a blast doing this tournament grind. And I'll see you guys in the next video.